Moses is giving his take on the Torah. He's speaking, it's called Deuteronomy, which means second Torah. And traditionally, he is telling the Israelites everything that happened up to that point. Because these are not just ordinary Israelites. This is the second generation of Israelites. The ones who escaped from Egypt were the Dor HaYetziyah, the generation of the Exodus. The ones to whom he is speaking is the Dor HaMidbar, that is the wilderness generation who did not know anything about slavery, who were not really aware when they escaped from Egypt because most of them weren't born yet. And Moses has to quickly indoctrinate him. And you wouldn't think that they would give him any lip, but they do. It's a Jewish thing. And other stuff happens in the Torah reading. Okay, otherwise it's a regular Shabbat. Oh, no, wait. It's Shabbos Nachamu. After the Haftorah tomorrow, Nachamu, Nachamu Ami. Or in the unforgettable tropes of Georg Friedrich Handel, Comfort ye, thy people, which aims in a totally different direction theologically, but hey, that's okay. So start the service, please, with lighting the Shabbat candles. Gail, would you like to light the Shabbat candles? Yes, by approbation. All please rise. We wave our hands over the candles. Please stand by. Give me an Israeli candle any day. I think every candle that comes out of that factory should be tested. Every other candle. That way we still have other candles. Okay, thank you. Wave our hands over the candles. We do the blessing. Asher Kirishanu b'mitzvotav, b'mitzvotav. Vitzivanu, vitzivanu, l'adlik ner. Vitzivanu, vitzivanu, adlik ner. Vitzivanu, vitzivanu, adlik ner. Shem Shah. Amen. Shabbos, please be seated. Page 13. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elohim. Mimelech, Malachei Hamzachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elohim. Mimelech, Malachei Hamzachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. La 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 ya la 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 ya la la ya la Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elohim. Mimelech, Malachei Hamzachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Take them the Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elohim. Mimelech, Malchei Amlachim, HaKadosh Baruch. We'll continue now, page 14 with the Yedid Nefesh. Holy, loving God, compassion's gentle source, take my disposition and shape it to your will. Like a darting deer, will I rush to you before your glorious presence. Humbly will I bow. Let your sweet love delight me with its thrill, because no other deity will my hunger still. How splendid is your light, illumining the world. My soul is weary, yearning for your love's delight. Please, good God, do heal her, reveal to her your face, the pleasure of your presence, bathed in your grace. She will find strength and healing in your sight. Forever will she serve you, grateful with all her might. Die, 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 die. Page 15. Lichu niranina, lichu niranina, lichu niranina, Adonai. Lichu niranina, lichu niranina, lichu niranina, Adonai. Naria, naria, litzur yishenu, nikadma bana b'todah. Naria, naria, litzur yishenu, bizmirot naria lo. Lechu niranina, lechu niranina, lechu niranina, Adonai. Lechu niranina, lechu niranina, lechu niranina, Adonai. All right, let's read responsively, I guess from the top. Let us sing to Adonai, let us rejoice in our Creator. Let us greet God with thanksgiving, singing psalms of praise. Together, Adonai is the foundation of all life, exalted beyond all that is worshipped. In God's hand rests the world he fashioned. Sea and land, abyss and mountain peak, all are God's. Let us worship Adonai, exalt our Creator, our God. We are the flock guided by God. Help is ours even today, if only we would listen to the divine voice. Harden not your heart in the way of your ancestors, who tried and tested me in the wilderness, even though they had witnessed my miracles. 40 years of contending with that generation led me to say, they are wayward, they care not for my ways. In indignation, therefore, did I vow, never would they reach my land, the land of peace, the land of rest. 40 shana kut b'tor, va'omar, am toel levavim, ve'hem lo yadu drachai, asher nishbati v'yapi, im yevon el menuchati. This particular psalm is attributed to Moses, who was warning the Israelites that they better behave, otherwise God will wipe them all out. In the end, God did that. The entire generation of the Exodus perished in the wilderness, but a new generation, their children and grandchildren, the generation of the wilderness, sprang up and swept into the land of Canaan and conquered it. Is that true? Was it all one big cataclysmic event? No,
Probably
indeed.
not.
No. In actuality, what happened was the Israelites quietly, slowly filtered over the Jordan River over a period of months or years, and then one day the Canaanites woke up and looked out of the windows in the bedroom and said, "Oh my God, the Jews are here. We have to move north." And that's what happens with human history. Okay? What do you think, Steve?
We're neighborhood busters?
What happened in that case? Of course, we're talking hundreds of years ago. Yes, sorry. Yeah.
Property values.
But we started unions and, try to uplift everyone. Okay, let's do this on page 20. This is technically the one at the top of the page. This is the one that we sing when the Torah is being carried around, the Torah recessional, as I call it. And it's really been one of my favorites. Hisbar leDavid, Havul Adonai b'nei Elim, Havul Adonai kavod va'oz, Havul Adonai kavod shemo, Ishtachavu Adonai b'hadrat kodesh. Kol Adonai al hamayim, el hakavod yirim, Adonai al mayim rabim. Kol Adonai ba'koach, Kol Adonai behadar, Kol Adonai shover arazim, vayishaber Adonai et arzei halavanon. Vayar kidem kimo egel, Levanon v'Sirion, kimo ven reimim. Kol Adonai, chotzev lavotesh, Kol Adonai, yachil midbar, yachil Adonai, midbar kadesh, Kol Adonai, yichol elayalot. Vayechasof yarot, uvehechalo, kulo meher kavod. Adonai lamahul yashav, vayeshev Adonai melech liolam. Adonai oz de'amo yitem, Adonai yivarech et amo v'shalom. Very nice. All right, moving on to page 21 for the Lecha Dodi.
Hi, Paul.
Lecha Dodi lekrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekavila. Lecha Dodi lekrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekavila. Lecha, lecha, Dodi, Dodi, lecha Dodi lekrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekavila. Lecha Dodi lekrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekavila. Shamor v'zachor b'dibur echad, Ishmi'anu el ha'miyuchad, Adonai echad, u'shemo echad, l'shemo tiferet l'tilak. Lecha, lecha, Dodi, Dodi, lecha Dodi lekrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekavila. Lecha Dodi lekrat kala, Shabbat Nikavila. Likrat Shabbat Lechu V'nelcha, Ki Mikol Averacha, Ve'rosh Mikedem Nisucha, Sof Maaseh B'machshava Tchila. Lecha, lecha, dodi, dodi, lecha, dodi, likrat kala. Hine Shabbat nikabila. Lecha, dodi, likrat kala. Hine Shabbat nikabila. Please rise. Page 22, we face the doors, fourth stanza, face the doors through which the Sabbath Queen will enter. Ohi v'shalom ateret bala, gam v'simcha u'v'tzala, toch emunei am segula, ohi chala, ohi chala. Lecha, lecha, dodi, dodi, lecha, dodi, likrat kala. Shabbat nikavila. Lecha, dodi, likrat kala. Shabbat nikavila. Page 23, please be seated. Mizmor Shir Liyom HaShabbat. Let's read responsively 4 stanzas from the bottom. We're enemies. Your enemies, Adonai, your enemies shall perish, all the wicked shall crumble together, but me you have greatly exalted. I am anointed with fragrant oil. I have seen the downfall of my foes. I have heard the despair of my attackers. The righteous shall flourish like the palm tree. They shall grow tall like a cedar in Lebanon. Planted in the house of Adonai, they will thrive in the courts of our God. They shall bear fruit even in old age. They shall be ever fresh and fragrant, to proclaim Adonai is just, my rock in whom there is no flaw. Odin v'meseva, Tishenim rananim iyu, Yagid ki ashar Adonai, Suriv lavatabu. All right, we can put the prayer books aside. I'm going to give a little drashet about Goet Hanan. And as I said earlier, Moses is here addressing the younger Israelites, the ones who were still alive, and giving them reassurance about conquering the land, mostly by complaining because God said, you yourself will not cross over. Why did Moses not merit to cross over the Jordan and help to invade the promised land? Yes.
He hit the rock with his stick instead of talking.
Next time, right. When God says to you, speak to the rock will break apart miraculously, and water will flow from it. As Dina said, do not hit the rock with your stick. Well, you know, it is understandable. He was having one of those days. I don't know if you get headaches. I used to get headaches. Thank God I'm not getting headaches. But the point is that he had a serious headache because the Israelites were giving him nothing but trouble. They were complaining about the quality of the manna. They were saying they needed something else besides manna, and he got them quail, not necessarily in that Torah portion, but elsewhere. And while they were chewing the quail, they got a terrible, terrible stomach ache and killed several of them. Of course, in those days before Tums, they only thought it was a plague. They didn't know that it was digestive distress. So, what happens there? Oh, yes. So they're saying, we're thirsty, we have to wash down the quail. You know, my mother went through a period where she cooked Cornish game hens every Friday night. Have you ever had a Cornish game hen?
Yes.
They're adorable. You even feel sorry for eating them because
Yes.
they're so tiny and they have very little chance to grow up. Paul, did you feel bad for the Cornish game hen you were eating?
Not for a second.
It's eat or be eaten. Yes, well, I don't know. They were cute. They had little, you know, you could dance with little drumsticks and all that. And each one of us got their own Cornish game hen.
Yeah.
Why do they call them Cornish game hens? Are they from Cornwall? Have they flown all the way here? Okay.
Well, originally they were wild game and they were domesticated.
Oh, I see. Was that a Henry VIII sort of thing? No.
No, actually, who made a lot of money doing that was Victor Borger.
No,
No,
really?
Really?
He was in the meat business?
He was, well, he invested in that business.
Oh, all I remember is when he was playing the music and then he looked at it very carefully and he turned it
Had it
upside
upside
down.
down,
That's very good, very
He's a funny
talented.
guy.
Jewish also, I collect Jews. All right,
His
anyway.
name was Borger Rosenfeld.
It was Rosenfeld? Oh, I married a Rosenfeld. I didn't know I was Mishpucha. That's so nice. I'm sorry he's not around. He's on YouTube, though. You can look him up.
Everyone's on YouTube.
I think so, yes. All right, so let's see, Cornish
We're
game
on
hens.
YouTube.
Well, they had quail, and compared to a Cornish game hen, a quail is a midget. There's nothing to it. You could eat 3 or 4 or 6 or 12. Question is, how did they slaughter the quail?
Nets. They called him.
Well, that's one way to catch him, but how are you going to kill him? You dedicated carnivore, but that's not kosher. Kosher means you had to hold up each and every one of those little teeny tiny birdies and go shit, with your trusty
Well, they didn't have
Snickers
the
sneak.
Torah. The Torah wasn't given yet, was it?
Oh, it was, yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and just to add insult to injury, I shouldn't say that. They repeat the key points in this particular Torah portion. Anyway, okay, so whether they twisted it or sliced it or whatever, the quail, and what happens is that in this particular Torah portion, Voet Chanan means I begged God. I feel bad for Moses. I mean, he has his good days and bad days. Oh, and as a result, he gets the headache, and he whacks the rock. And what happens when he whacks the rock? It
The water
splits open,
and the water.
and water bubbles out. But is it as big a miracle as if he had spoken to it?
Not quite.
Oh, and anyone who's been in the education business knows what it is
Right.
to speak to a rock. Yes. You just gotta slowly and enunciate. Well, so Moses begs God. It's so sad. It's so tragic. He says, God, please give me another chance. And God says, no, this is a midrash now. This is a legend. God says to him, no. Moses says, please, God, who's going to be the next leader? Like he doesn't know. Joshua, okay? And Moses says, let me serve Joshua as he served me. He was my gopher. Go for the car, go for the coat. And God says, okay, but you're not going to like it. And he has Joshua come over, and Joshua bows to Moses, and Moses says, you don't have to bow to me anymore. I'm not the leader anymore. And they go to the tent of meeting, and a mysterious cloud comes out of heaven and settles down over Joshua. And he communes with God in the cloud for quite some time. And then the cloud lifts, and Moses is feeling worse and worse, because he used to be the dude in the cloud, and he's not anymore. And he says to Joshua, tell me what God said to you when you were in mystical communion with him in the cloud. And Joshua looks very sad. And he says, my Lord Moses, did you tell me when God spoke with you? And Moses says, yeah, you're right. It's God, it's time to take me. And he does get a view of the promised land. God says, climb Pisgah. That's a mountain. And as a matter of fact, it was a town in North Carolina where my son lived for a while, Pisgah. But he goes up there and he gets a good look at the land of Canaan. And truth to tell, the land of Canaan is not so fertile at this point. It's not like the Israelis moved in with hydroponics and they're growing tomatoes out of plastic bags attached to pipes over the ground. But it's got potential. It really does. And Moses takes a good look. And then he goes back to the Israelites and he continues giving them Torah 101. He's giving them, this is all going to be on the final, he says, and you really need to know this. He says, he tells them about the exodus from Egypt, which of course took place at midnight, and the giving of the Torah. And the remarkable thing, again, there are a lot of midrashim, there are a lot of legends about this, where when the Torah was given, no bird chirped, no animal made a noise, nobody spoke. Instead, they all heard, Anochi Hashem Elokecha, Asher Hotzeticha Me'eretz Mitzrayim. I am the Lord your God who brought you out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of slavery, and that's the first verse. Now let me tell you, is that a commandment? I am the Lord your God?
No.
No, it's not. Very good. That's really a statement of credentials. In those days, if you were a god or a king and you were giving a code of law, you would say, this is who I am. I'm Nebuchadnezzar, I'm Shalmaneser, and so on and so forth. Okay, but there is no God besides God, and that is revolutionary. That is truly revolutionary. This whole idea of ethical monotheism, that you don't have two gods like the Zoroastrians, a god of good and a god of evil. You don't have several gods, a multiplicity of gods like the Norse or the Greeks, and so on. That's why I suppose nobody will make a really effective movie about an invisible God who appears to his people. We're beyond the age of all those biblical epics, right? Those soap operas they used to do. All right. But in the future, will the people remain faithful to God? No, they will turn away. They will worship idols. I told you the story of when I did a wedding out in Singer Island, and it was a Jewish wedding, and I, conducted it according to halacha, Jewish law. But I came in. It's an amazing place, Singer Island. First you drive through the poor neighborhoods. Then you get to the rich people's neighborhoods. Then you get to this hotel, and I went over to the front desk, and I said, I'm here for the Yachnaha's wedding. And they said, oh, they're rehearsing on the lawn. You can go over there, sir, and look out the window, and you'll see them. So I looked out, and I saw the groom, I saw the bride, and I saw that the way they were positioned, the way they were standing under the chuppah, when the groom moved his eyes just a little bit away from the bride, he could see his true love, which was his fire engine red Corvette over there, parked very conveniently on the lawn, with no cans or anything behind it. I thought they would be.
Damage to call it.
Oh, it would. Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you. Thank you very much, Ron. Well, they'll worship idols. They'll be exiled from their land and scattered among the nations. Are we scattered among the nations? Yeah, it's a pretty comfortable exile in many ways. Okay, and I'm laying aside all the politics that's going on with Israel and so on. They'll turn away, but from there they will seek God. What really happened is that the Israelites from the north, the Israelites who witnessed the Babylonian destruction of the temple, they went south to be as refugees, and they met their southern brothers and cousins. And the Southerners really did not have any religion. They were just living close to the land and worshiping idols and all that business. And the Northerners were able to teach them about Judaism. They said, look, this is what happened to us. The temple is destroyed, but Judaism has to continue. And that was really where Deuteronomy came from. It was a way of teaching the ignorant Southerners the religion of the Northerners. Okay? And next, they give you a repetition of the Ten Commandments. There's only one little teeny difference. In the Exodus version of the Ten Commandments, I'm not sure which is which, but one of them says, Shamor et Yom HaShabbat v'Kadasho. Guard the Sabbath to keep it holy. And later on, it's Zachor et Yom HaShabbat v'Kadasho. Remember the Sabbath to keep it holy. And the rabbis were totally flummoxed that you had the same Ten Commandments, but only these two words were different. So they made up for it with a very ingenious midrash. They said that everyone could hear both words recited at once. Shamor Zachor, Zachor Shamor. Okay? And I had no idea what that meant until back in the 60s. I was going to Yeshiva High School, and what really saved me was the Doors. The musical group The Doors. And there is one of their songs where they did the same thing. They ran the tape over against itself. And I said, oh, that's what they meant. See? You can learn from everything. Really. And finally, they wind up with mezuzot. Okay, the mezuzah? Yes? You ever heard of anyone wearing a mezuzah around their neck? Is that a kosher mezuzah?
No.
No? Okay.
A star.
Oh, a star, yes. It's not big enough, Steve. You have to get
another star.
I know. I have one at home. It's my paperweight. But down here, they wear it around their necks. Okay? Good for you. But the mezuzah is really an early sign of Jewishness. And of course, you're supposed to, it goes like this. This is Uncle Moshe in the mitzvah there. As you enter, I'm on the right, I'm on the right. I protect you, day and night, day and night. So when you go into the house, the mezuzah is here. And when I left the house during finals week in high school, my mother gave me some motherly advice. She said, step out of the house on your right foot and touch and kiss the mezuzah with your left hand. And I did. Did it help me on the test? Not at all. But you gotta give the old girl some credit. All right, Shabbat Shalom, good Shabbos. Thank you very much. Any questions, comments, anything at all? Yes, sir.
Why did they leave at midnight?
That is immediately after the plague of the firstborn.
Oh,
Yeah. God likes to go for drama.
I see that.
Yes. Okay. All right, on page 28, we have the Baruch Hu. And Ron, would you and your daughters care to open the ark? Please rise. We bow towards, that'd be curtain too. We bow towards the ark. Arichu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach. Le'olam va'ed. Amen. If you could close the curtain, please. Thank you very much. Yasher Koach. Appreciate it. Okay. All right. Nice to see you. Thank you, sweetie. Yasher Koach. Yasher Koach. Okay. Please be seated. We've been seeing some fantastic moons over the past number of nights. A silver slipper moon, as they refer to it in the Three-Penny Opera. So let's read the bottom paragraph on 28 on the right. Together. Beloved are you, eternal God, by whose design the evening falls, by whose command dimensions open up, and eons pass away, and stars spin in their orbits. You set the rhythms of day and night. The alternation of light and darkness sings your creating word. In rising sun and in spreading dusk, Creator of all, you are made manifest. Eternal, everlasting God, may we always be aware of your dominion. Beloved are you, Adonai, for this hour of nightfall. El Chai v'Kayam, Tamid Yimloch Aleinu Li'olam Voed. Baruch atah Adonai, Amari v'Aravim. Amen. Continuing on page 30 with the Shema. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Uncover the eyes. Baruch Shem Kivod, Malchuto, Li'olam Voed. And the English. You shall love Adonai your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your might. And these words which I command you this day, you shall take to heart. Teach them diligently to your children. Recite them at home and away, night and day. Bind them as a sign upon your hand and as a reminder above your eyes. Inscribe them upon the doorposts of your homes and upon your gates. Continuing now on page 32. Michamocha, Michamocha, Va'ilim Adonai, Michamocha, Nedor Ba'kodesh, Norati Lot, Osef Eleh, Malchut Charovanecha, Bokayam Lifnei Moshe, Zelianu V'Amru, Adonai Imloch Le'olam Voed V'nemar Yifad Adonai et Yaakov U'ki'alo mi'ad chazak mimenu Baruch atah Adonai Goal Yisrael. Amen. Let's read the English paragraph, but first, any cholim, any folks who are not well? Okay. Anyone? All right. I'll read the list. Jeff Stern, Ellen Kaiser, Rachel Spearer, Eileen Carroll, Rhoda Silverman, Inez Pasher, Baby Eli Jacob, Norma Fogel, Robert Tilson, Doreen Christopher, Joni Kahn, Barbara Osufsky, Lauren Lobel, Roz Carniol, no, not anymore, let her rest in peace, and Tony Sincata. Any other names? Yes.
Jeannie Tarrant.
Before Shlema. Okay. Let's read the paragraph, top left of 33. Help us, Adonai, to lie down in peace, and awaken us again, our sovereign to life. Spread over us your shelter of peace. Guide us with your good counsel. Save us because of your mercy. Shield us from enemies and pestilence, from starvation, sword, and sorrow. Remove the evil forces that surround us. Shelter us in the shadow of your wings, O God, who watches over us and delivers us, our gracious and merciful ruler. Guard our coming and our going. Grant us life and peace now and always. Spread over us the shelter of your peace. Praise to you, Adonai, who spreads the shelter of peace over us, over all his people Israel, over Jerusalem and the entire world. Ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha. Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukat shalom aleinu, v'al kol amo Yisroel, v'al Yerushalayim, v'al kol haolam kulo. Amen.
I didn't say so quick enough, but Leland called just before we left and he
Yes.
said his back hurts and he's not feeling well.
Refuah Shlema. Thank you. All right, page 34. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat l'dorotam berit olam. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat l'dorotam berit olam. Beini u'bein b'nei Yisrael, oti li'olam, oti li'olam, oti li'olam. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat l'dorotam berit olam. Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et ha-shamayim v'et haaretz. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat l'dorotam berit olam. Uvayom hashvi Shabbat v'inafash, Shabbat v'inafash, Shabbat v'inafash. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat l'dorotam berit olam. Please rise for the half Kaddish, bottom of 34. Yitkadal, v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, amen. Yalmad yivrach erutei, v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayei chon uv'yomei chon, uv'chayei techol beit Yisrael. Agala, Agala, uvisman kariv, v'yimeru, amen. Yesh me Rabba Haya Yitbarach Yitbarach V'yishtabach Yitpoar V'yitromam V'yitnaseh V'yitadar V'yitaleh V'yitalal Shemei Dekudesha Brichu V'yela Bin Kol Birchata B'shirata Tushbechata V'nechemata Tamiran V'yalema V'yimeru Amen. 35b to 38. When you're done, you may be seated. This is on 38 at the top. Shalom Raham Al Yisroel Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Raham Al Yisroel Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki atahu melech Adon L'chol HaShalom. Ki atahu melech Adon L'chol HaShalom. Shalom Rav Al Yisroel Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Al Yisroel Amcha Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. Continuing now on 47. There we can do this. It's the middle of the page. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei Avotenu v'Elohei Avram Elohei Yitzchak v'Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel Elohei Leah Oel HaGadol Gibar V'Hanora El Elyon Konei Shamayim V'Oretz Okein Avot B'Dvaro V'Chayei Metim B'Mamaru Oel HaKadosh Shein Kamohu Ameniach Li'amo Yom Shabbat Kodsho Kivam Ratza Lehaniach Lahem Kivam Ratza Lehaniach Lahem Lefanav Navod V'yirav Afachad V'nodeh Lishmo B'chol Yom Tamid Ein Habrachot El Hahudahut Adon Hashalom Mikadesh HaShabbat Umvarech Shevit Ach B'Kedusha, Le'am B'Tushne Oneg, Zecher, L'Maseh, V'Reishit, Zecher, L'Maseh, V'Reishit. Page 48, full Kaddish. Yikra v'yikra shemei Rava, Amen. Yalmad yivrach erutev yamlich mafutei, v'chaye chon v'yimei chon, u'v'chaye d'chol beit Yisrael, v'agalav v'zman kariv yimru, Amen. Yehi shmei Rava mevorach, li'olam li'ol me'ol maya, Yitbarach, Yitbarach v'yishtabach, V'poar v'trumam v'yitnaseh, V'tadar v'talei v'talal shmei dekudesha brichu, V'elam en kol berchata v'shirata, Tishbechata v'nechamata da'meron b'yoma, V'yimru Amen. Titkabal tzloton uvauton, T'chai Yisrael, Kedam avuhon v'shmaya v'yimru Amen. Yehi shalom araba min shemaya, V'chayim aleinu v'al Yisrael v'yimru Amen. U'oseh shalom imromav, U'yaseh shalom aleinu, V'al kol Yisrael, Imru, Amen. Yaseh shalom, Shalom aleinu, V'al kol Yisrael, Yaseh shalom, Shalom aleinu, V'al kol Yisrael, V'al kol yoshvei tevel, V'imru Amen. All right, opening the ark, please. Oh, no Kiddush. Sorry, Kiddush. Oh, terrible. That's the cheat sheet. Yeah. Sunday.
Okay, imaginary line. That's juice.
Yeah.
Don't take juice by accident, take it on purpose.
All right, Kiddush for Shabbos 49. Savri Mornan Vrabanan Vravatai, Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech olam, Borei pri hagafen, Amen. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech olam, Asher kiddeshanu mitzvotav v'ratzavanu, V'Shabbat kodsho v'yava uv'ratzon inchilanu, Zikaron l'maseh v'reishit, Ki hu yom techila le'mikra'ei kodesh, Zecher litziat Mitzrayim, Ki banu b'charta, V'yotanu kidashta, V'kol arim, V'shalat kadshecha, V'yava uv'ratzon, Inchatanu, Baruch atah Adonai, V'kadesh HaShabbat, Amen. L'chaim l'shalom ha'simcha.
Thank you.
Imaginary cookie.
That was so good.
Now the Omeid. Gail, Steve, would you care to open into the cards here?
How many people do we have?
Jeff Stern has been coming in and out, and I think his Wi-Fi's bad.
Probably bad connection.
We have a couple on YouTube. Two on YouTube.
Aleinu l'shabeach v'adon hakol, v'atei gedula yotzei breshit, shelo asanu Higoye haratzot, V'lo samanu k'mishpachot Adama, Shelo sam Elkeinu kahem, V'kor aleinu k'chol hamonam, V'achnu korim, Mishtachavim u'modim, Lifnei melech, Malchei hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Shehu noten shamayim v'yoser haaretz, U'moshav yikaro hashamayim imal, U'shchinatu zo, V'kavei meromim, U'Eloheinu Einod, Emet Malkeinu Efes Ulato, Kakatu K'Torato, Biadatayam, Hashevota El Levavecha, Ki Adonai Hu Elohim, B'Shamayim B'Mal, B'Al Haaretz, B'Tachat Enod, V'Nemar, V'Haya Adonai, L'Melech al Kol Haaretz, Bayom Hahu, Yeh Adonai Echad, U'Shemo Echad, U'Shemo Echad. The ark is closed. As the ark is closed, you may be seated unless you're doing mourner's Kaddish. Doors 2, yes, please. Yes, it's a tricky magnet. Yes, Shakara. Thank you very much. Shakara. And thank you. Yes. And the mourner's Kaddish. Yid Gadol, Yid Kadash, Shemei Rabbah, Amen. Yalmad Yivrach, Yiratei, Yamlich Malchutei. V'chayechon, V'yechon, V'chayei D'chol Beit Yisrael. V'agalav Bizman Kariv Yimru, Amen. Yehei Shmei Rabbah Mevorach, V'yolam U'me'om V'yah. Yitborach, Yishtabach, Yitbahar, Yitromam, Yitnaseh. Yitadar, Yitaleh, Yitalal, Shemei Dekudisha, Barichu. V'elah min kol birchata v'shirata, Tushbechata v'nechamata, Damiran bi'almah v'imru, Amen. Yehei Shalom Rabba min Shemaya, V'chaim aleinu v'yakol Yisrael, v'imru, Amen. Oseh Shalom b'mromah, Uyaseh Shalom, aleinu v'yakol Yisrael, v'yakol Yoshvei Tevel, v'imru, Amen. Please be seated. Now a few words from our own Rita Levitt.
Good Shabbos, everyone.
Good Shabbos.
Good Shabbos. Just a very few words tonight, wishing you all a wonderful, healthy, beautiful, and happy Shabbat, and letting you know that this was a busy week for choosing seats for high holidays, which we're doing. So if you have a preference for where you would like to sit, please come into the office or let me know tonight when we go in for coffee. Take a look in the sanctuary, see where you'd like to sit, and I will book your seats there. Right now I can do preferences because there are people who stayed in the same seats all of the time, and those seats are sacrosanct. I don't give those away. So, but I can get you in the general area of where you would like to be, and it would be my pleasure to do that. So just come in. Just come into the office, or tonight you can let me know. Those of you who are at home, good Shabbos to all of you. Same goes for you. If you want your same seats as last year, let me know, and you'll have them, I promise you. It's going to be a very beautiful high holiday service, and it's coming along very swiftly. We have only 6 weeks now until Slichot, which will be the first of our services getting really ready for high holidays. We're kind of ready now, but we're not really ready yet. So we have a lot to do. As well, we are already getting information from our members for the Book of Remembrance. And if you would like your loved ones remembered, the 4 times a year in the Book of Remembrance, this is something that we do every year. If you did it last year and you want the same ones, you can call in and say same as last year. If we're going to be doing a mailing, if you have new people to add who you thought of, maybe you'd like to put Bubby and Papa on, maybe you'd like to put a beloved aunt or uncle on. It's really a beautiful way to remember those we love so much who are in heaven now. And as well, for those of you who have adopted a child through the Adopt a Kaddish program, adopted a child who was lost in the Holocaust and who we say Kaddish for 4 times a year. They can be included in the Book of Remembrance as well. Paul and I have 3 children, 2 sisters and 1 young boy, and they're in our listing in the Book of Remembrance, and it's really a beautiful thing to do. They don't have anyone to say Kaddish for them, and this way they're remembered by name. So I wish you all a beautiful Shabbos. Come tomorrow for our traditional Saturday morning service. Rabbi will be having his class on...
You be the judge.
You be the judge.
Yes. Questions of Jewish law.
It's kind of a nice feeling to be able to be the judge of something. So much is not in our control anymore. So Rabbi's classes are very stimulating and wonderful. So you'll come. We're going to have a little luncheon tomorrow, and right after our Kiddush, you'll have a class with Rabbi. That's a wonderful way to start the day. Also, during the week, Rabbi's classes on Wednesday at 4 o'clock and the current events class at 7 o'clock are both stimulating and a lot of fun. So, and not to be missed, Monday morning is our Aging Gracefully group. We have a canasta group, and Thursday a mahjong group, and we just want you to join in on absolutely everything that you are able to. So good Shabbos.
Thank you. Thank you, Rita. Yasher Koach.
Thank you so much. Getting into that holiday season. So it's so strange because I remember over the years of my career, we were the only Jews in town. In the South in particular, North Carolina, we had 500 churches and we were the Jews. So it made for some fascinating exchanges every so often. Because, and this isn't me, Ann Beth noticed this, when the Jewish New Year would come, the supermarket very obligingly put out New Year's cards in the card section, because you never know. All right? Okay. Page 54 for the Adon Olam. Adon Olam, Adon Olam, Hashem Allah, Hashem Allah, B'terem Kol, B'terem Kol, Yitzir Nivra, Yitzir Nivra, Li'et Nasa, Li'et Nasa, V'chetzo Kol, V'chetzo Kol, Hazai Melech Shemo Nikra Adon Olam, V'yacharei Kichlot HaKol, Levado yimloch neradon olam. Vehu aya, vehu hoveh, vehu yeh b'tifaradon olam. Vehu echad, v'yein sheni, lehamshilo lehachbiradon olam. V'li tachlit, v'lo'oz v'hamisradon olam. V'hu eli, v'chai goali, v'tzor chavli b'yetzoradon olam. V'hu nisi, umanosli, v'nakosi b'yomekradon olam. Adon olam, Adon olam, Asher Malach, Asher Malach, V'terem kol, V'terem kol, Yitzir Nivra, Li'et nasa, V'chetzo kol, Azan el Shemo Nikra, Adon olam, Yado, Avki Bruchi, V'yeti sham v'yayira Adon olam. Bimruchi Giviati Adonai li v'lo iradon olam. Please rise for the closing benediction. Yivarechacha Adonai v'yishmerecha. May the Lord bless you and keep you. Yo'er Adonai panav elecha v'yichuneka. May the Lord make his face shine upon you and be gracious unto you. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. May the Lord turn his face unto you and grant you peace. We'll say Amen.
Amen.
Shabbat shalom, good Shabbat.
Shabbat shalom. Try moving this chair.
Okay, good Shabbos. Nice to see you.
Shabbat shalom.
Service, whatever.